right, here we are. It is Saturday morning of our June campout, and we've had a few new people join us. I don't know that they have anything to share yet, but we've had some experiences that happened yesterday that were very interesting. We're going to hear some great stories here. So who'd like to start? Linda?
Okay. Well, first of all, I kept wanting to move down lower there, move my tent down there. I just kept having this feeling, and so I walked further past where everybody was camped, where you were camped. I walked by your tent and walked by your car, and I went further. And after I lost my dentures, I can't whistle, but I whistled good yesterday, and they whistle back. I got about 15, and like if I did, they go like that. And so I thought, oh, it's got to be people, there's got to be people down there, because it sounded so good. But anyway, then when I came back, you said that, what was it?
Well, I had been back there working on putting together our spoof footage. So I was sitting in the tent, and Gabby was on her cot, and several minutes before you came through, Gabby had kind of perked up and gone out of the tent, and she's kind of on alert. And then a few minutes later, you came walking through, and you just walked on down through the trail that went past. And then it was maybe 10 minutes later, I started hearing, thank you so much, thank you. And she comes back through, and she's, oh my gosh, they're whistling with me. We're whistling together. And she's, I gotta go get Peter. So she went back through. They came back with Peter and went back there, and I went back and followed with Gabby, and we did a little quick talk about it.
Right.
And then I figured, okay, well, if you're going to try and have more interaction, I brought Gabby back out of there, and we came back here. So when I was walking back here after that, right over here, I got just down in this road a little ways, maybe 100 feet, and a stick comes out of one of these trees, and I stopped and I said, oh, okay. And I went to take a step, and another stick comes down out of the tree. So, okay. And I'm kind of chuckling, thinking, well, maybe there's a squirrel or something up there. And I went to take another step, and another stick came down out of the tree. So then I look over, and Stryker, he's over here. And I said, Stryker, did you see that? And he's like, oh, maybe it was me, because I was doing this. And I said, no, it was over here. And he was like, oh, no, that wasn't me. So I was thinking that maybe because you guys had gone back after that, and there was nothing else. So I was thinking maybe when you came back to get Peter, maybe there was little ones or something up in the trees that had followed you back here.
I felt like it was from the trees. It didn't feel like it was from the ground. It felt like it was coming from high up. And I think it was maybe 2 individuals, but I don't think more than that. I don't know.
Okay.
Seemed to come from the same area.
You were pretty excited about that.
Oh my God, because I've been waiting so long. And then last night, I woke up again about 3:30, and there were like 3 individuals whooping and calling.
Wow.
And I heard that, and I listened to that for a minute, and then I went back to sleep. So.
Okay. Terry, you heard that too, didn't you?
I thought it was Gabby barking, just a low bark at something, and I thought you'd be talking about it this morning.
No.
Gabby was in the tent barking.
Nope. She went straight to her cot and got wrapped in her blankie, and she was done.
Yeah.
She didn't make a peep.
So I heard that a couple times, and then yesterday afternoon, though, after you'd had your experiences down there, I had gone down to get something out of my truck, and I heard her down close to the river just yelling. I don't know what she was saying, but I came back up here and asked her if she'd been sitting up here yelling, and she hadn't been. So it was her voice. But,
Yeah. It's pretty common to have voices mimicked here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's over the years that we've been coming here, it pretty much happens at least once every camp out. Yeah, somebody will be mimicked with one of our voices.
Yeah.
Last time we were here, I went back there, and I thought I heard Tom in his tent praying or meditating or something, and was a little surprised when I got back and here he was sitting at the fire. So, and there was a few years ago, my dad and his wife had their motorhome here, and we were parked down below. And I woke up to my dad's wife calling the cat Nibbles. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I got to get out and help find the cat. And then they stopped calling, and I'm thinking, okay, she got the cat. Well, then a few hours later, I came up to knock on the door and tell him to come down for breakfast. And I said, did you find Nibbles okay? And Dad didn't know what I was talking about. I said, well, Juanita was out here calling for Nibbles this morning. No, Juanita hates Nibbles. Juanita wouldn't call Nibbles if her life depended on it. So
Yeah, no, it was exactly her voice, but I couldn't figure out how she got down there because I knew she was up here, but that's what I heard.
Well, I'm
All right.
tired of it.
Cool. Okay. Well, then, right about the time, right after you had your experience, I
Right.
walked back up and the sticks came down. Then, Ashley, you showed up pretty darn excited about something. Why don't you?
I did. A whole series of events synchronistic to each other happened yesterday that kind of started off with Linda and I going into town to the fire station to get Wi-Fi service and to call home and check in. My phone gets drained up here. I showed up with 60% on the first day, turned it off to a reserve battery. When I tried to turn it on the next day, it was down to nothing. So when I got up to the fire station and turned it on with a little bit of juice in it, I saw that I got a text message from a friend of mine from the day before. And that particular person was the same person that I had my first Sasquatch encounter with. This is also the same person that in November, my partner and I went down to San Antonio to go to her wedding. When we did so, when we left Portland, I had a pocket knife that I was going to take with me, a special pocket knife, and I put it in the check-in bag that we took, and it traveled with us to San Antonio. While we were in San Antonio, it disappeared. I lost it, and so yesterday I'm down in my tent and getting ready for the day, and I go to this particular bag that I took with me to San Antonio, and the knife was inside the side pocket. It was clipped to that inside pocket. So I can't explain like how well. I mean, there could be many different explanations as to how it came up here, but what I can say is that it was lost in San Antonio, and that bag went through 2 different airports. Plus, when we left Portland to go to San Antonio, the bag got ripped by one of the baggage handlers. So I had to take that bag back to the airport to get it to give it to the airliner so they could send it out to a company to resew it and then send it back to my home. So I know that there was nothing in that bag. That I double triple check things all the time. So before I sent that bag off took it down to the airport for them to send it off, it didn't have anything in it. It didn't have that knife in it. I was resounded with the fact that I lost it in San Antonio. So about 2 weeks ago, I was going to replace that knife, and went into a Big Five, and the same company, they had knives they had a selection on sale. So I went back after a couple of days. The sale had kind of extended and included some other ones. I had my eye on a particular one. I was like, I really like that one. And when I got the box, the model name of that knife was Portal. And I was like, well, now I have to get that knife. So I had this knife that was called the Portal knife. And I come up here, and then inside this bag that's been double, triple checked many different times on many different occasions, this knife that I've been missing since November of 2017 is in that bag.
Wasn't it clipped
It
to
was
a pocket?
Yeah, it was clipped to the inside of the side pocket of the outside. So I opened up this flap, and it was just right there. And of course, this bag I've taken on a couple of other trips since November. And then, of course, I packed it for this weekend. I never saw that knife
Wow.
until yesterday.
Wow.
So I came up here, and it was hard to put words together to tell the story. But the synchronistic aspect of the fact that the person I had my first Sasquatch encounter with, I got this message from her from the day before, but I got it yesterday. and then the knife showed up.
Wow. You know, I have a friend who was in Georgia, and Arla had been there and had given everybody crystals. And my friend Susie had lost her crystal while she was in Georgia and was heartbroken. And she got back to her home in Southern California and looked out her kitchen window, and something was on the ground outside her window. And she went out and looked, and here it was the crystal that she had lost in Georgia. So these things do happen. How it happens, I don't know. But it's pretty cool.
It's the exact same knife.
Wow.
So cool.
Right on. Okay, thank you for sharing. So, anybody else?
Yeah, I had, yesterday afternoon I went up, walked down, and then walked up the 73 road for a while. And there's about a mile up, there's a road to the left that's blocked off with rocks. And so I just sat there for a while. And in the back of me, I kind of heard men talking. And I'm like, there is nobody around here. And so I just sat there some more, and then across the road, it sounded like kids playing. And there's just absolutely nobody there. And I sat there for a while, and
That was it, huh?
yeah,
Wow.
You want to
Cool.
tell them about the gifting at your spot, or?
you can.
Well, basically, we had this big thing of. Where is she? They're like cheese. They're like cheese.
Yeah,
What do you call them?
Cheetos, but they're not
Cheese
really
balls.
Cheetos. Yeah, they're cheese balls, but they taste just like movie theater popcorn.
I verify.
Yeah,
They're good.
delicious.
She had gone to the gifting spot with us the day before, and it was sitting on a moss-covered stump, old growth stump. And when we were there, I found a lid and the bottom part of it, 1 gallon plastic, with the lid screwed off, completely clean. And I felt the sides of the. I basically looked for teeth marks, nothing. And it was screwed on pretty tight because when she wasn't looking, I went over and went.
Ah.
Yeah, it was, and if it had probably been a bear, they would have tried to lick, or there was still enough salt residue in the thing that a bear wouldn't have done that. So that was interesting, and the fact that they did get the lid off.
This is the same location where the sighting was in May.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We were trying to kind of mimic. I sat on the log for a while and played the flute, and of course I'm looking up at all the trees. Okay. Had my binoculars. Nothing, but we kind of sensed we were hearing some noises behind the area, and we kind of sensed that their presence might have been around. Saw a big bull though walking in, a monster bull elk. It was just gorgeous.
Still have not
Wow.
seen it.
Just regal. Oh, just.
Wow.
She didn't see it because he stood on the road, looked at us, and then he went. So it's just like a 2-second sighting. But
Wow,
Yeah,
cool.
there were wood knocks up there.
yeah, we were hearing knocks.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
A lot of
From
movement.
your side of the river?
Yeah,
How far from the road is it?
about a mile, I guess.
Yeah, about that.
3/4 of a mile, maybe.
Yeah, it's not that far.
If anyone sees
It's a real
one,
nice walk.
let me
Pretty
know so I can go get a picture of one. I've never seen one.
An elk?
Never.
Okay. They're around.
I've seen their prints.
Debbie, the barking dog or the barking bird. When we were playing frisbee,
Oh, right.
that was the weirdest sound I've ever heard. It was like trying to mimic a bird, but it was a barking bird, and then we heard a scream.
Oh, wow.
That's right.
Cool.
We were playing frisbee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We were
yeah.
playing
It was
I heard the scream.
bizarre.
Wow, cool.
Mhm.
A barking bird, huh?
Barking
Yeah.
bird.
I've heard
like,
an owl
what?
that growled, so. Okay. So
I'll share. So this being my first camp out with y'all, I'm always trying to take what's reality, confirmation, like the camper being a mechanical, and finding out from the owner there's nothing attached to a battery that would vibrate like that. So down at the campsite, laying on the back of my car, I thought, after you guys helped rescue me from myself, I thought, well, that vibration in the back of my car must be the vibration of the water going across the creek. So last night, trying to verify what I saw, like at Rob's, back behind Rob's twinkling lights, I lay there and nothing. And there was no vibration in my car. And so whatever vibration I had the night before couldn't have been the river because I was in the same spot.
Well, and there was no sense of that at all last night.
No, but I was I was packed like the princess with the bee.
Okay. So, anybody else? No?
Yesterday as well, I heard some vocalizations downriver, a masculine call.
Okay. I don't think I had any experiences yesterday other than the stick. I did get into my tent last night, and it was plenty warm enough. I didn't have to have my face covered, and I did have a few very bright red flashes of light in the top of my tent. And, you know, I'd closed my eyes and wasn't seeing the flashes, opened my eyes, there was flashes, but it didn't happen very long, and I didn't stay awake very long, and there was none of the omni-dome effect of stars that had been in there a few nights before, none of that. Just a periodic little red bright sparkle, and that was it for me. So, anybody else? No? All right, well, I guess that wraps up our Saturday morning meeting. We're going to have some hikes today. We're going to do some fun stuff, and it's going to be a great night. We got more people coming, and I can hardly wait to see what's going to happen next. Woohoo! Thanks, everybody.